In Japan, calm is not a coincidence. It's crafted. Every detail from the placement of a cup to the way a floor is clean carries intention. What we call peaceful homes are, in truth, environments designed to regulate the body and mind. Studies in environmental psychology confirm that spatial order reduces cortisol and anxiety by up to 30%. But what makes Japanese calm different is its spiritual root, the belief that outer order mirrors inner order. For a mother, this truth is revolutionary. When the space around her becomes predictable and rhythmic, her brain shifts from alert to rest mode. The baby, whose nervous system is still forming, absorbs that stability like air. Calm is not taught, it's transmitted. The Japanese home doesn't try to control life, it flows with it. That flow is what this journey will awaken in you, the science and spirit of creating harmony through design. 2. The neuroscience of simplicity. Every detail you see, every sound you hear, every item out of place, your brain processes all of it. Neuroscience shows that clutter multiplies cognitive load, forcing your nervous system into constant vigilance. In a home with a baby, where every moment already demands attention, this invisible noise becomes emotional weight. The Japanese understood long ago what modern science is now proving. Simplicity is not decoration. It's a biological necessity. When the visual field is calm, your amygdala, the brain's alarm system, receives fewer threat signals. That's why Japanese interiors favor open space, muted tones, and functional design. A mother who wakes up to order experiences a neurological shift. Her parasympathetic system activates, lowering cortisol, heart rate, and tension. This is not aesthetic minimalism. It's emotional hygiene. A study from the University of Tokyo found that mothers exposed to low-stimulus environments reported 40% higher clarity and patience during caregiving hours. Babies in those spaces displayed longer gaze duration and deeper sleep cycles. The environment becomes a silent co-regulator, shaping both behavior and emotional security. Simplicity, then, is not about having less. It's about feeling more clearly. It's the art of designing peace into your daily life. When you remove what's unnecessary, you create space for presence. And presence is what your baby needs more than perfection. The neuroscience of simplicity teaches that the external world is the mirror through which the internal one breathes. The 15-minute reset principle. Time is elastic. When it's filled with chaos, 15 minutes disappear. When it's filled with awareness, 15 minutes can reset your entire system. The Japanese call this practice the sacred pause, the space between actions that gives rhythm to life. It's the conscious act of stopping to realign body, mind, and environment. In a culture that worships productivity, Ma teaches something radical, that the pause itself is productive. Neuroscience supports it. Brief cycles of restoration under 20 minutes reduce sympathetic activation and restore executive function. In other words, a short ritual can bring your brain back to focus and emotional balance. For mothers, these micro pauses are lifelines. Between feedings, laundry, and the 1,000 invisible tasks of caregiving, 15 minutes of conscious order can recalibrate the entire day. This principle isn't about doing more. It's about designing moments that recenter you. A small reset might look like opening the window, breathing slowly, placing one object back in its place, or lighting a candle. What matters is intention. The nervous system doesn't need perfection, it needs rhythm. When you return to the same small ritual daily, your brain begins to anticipate calm. That anticipation alone releases dopamine, the neurochemical of motivation and satisfaction. A study on temporal regulation in Japanese households revealed that consistent micro-routines increase emotional stability and cognitive focus in both adults and children. The home becomes a metronome of peace. In 15 minutes, you're not just cleaning or tidying. You're reminding your brain and your babies that life has order. That transitions can be soft, and that calm is a practice, not an accident. The Kanso effect, clarity in the baby's space in Japanese philosophy. Kanso means eliminating the non-essential so that the essence can be seen. It's simplicity born from wisdom, not from lack. When we translate Kanso into the baby's environment, it becomes an invisible teacher guiding emotional regulation, attention span, and a sense of safety. A space that breathes simplicity, communicates to the baby, you are safe, you can rest, you can explore. Research in developmental psychology shows that infants exposed to cluttered or visually busy environments display shorter periods of focused observation and higher stress reactivity. Their brains, still forming synaptic pathways, interpret excessive color and movement as noise. Kanso transforms the nursery from stimulation overload into a sanctuary of sensory balance. Soft neutrals, natural materials, and open space allow the baby's nervous system to organize without tension. For mothers, Kanso means mental clarity. A Harvard study on environmental cognition revealed that even moderate disorganization raises cortisol and decision fatigue. When every toy and object has a purpose and place, the mind mirrors that order. It's easier to breathe, easier to think, easier to be present. But Kanso is not sterile minimalism. It's emotional geometry. It's about removing what doesn't serve peace and keeping what holds meaning. A single wooden toy can invite more imagination than a room full of flashing lights. A corner with light, texture, and silence can regulate a baby more deeply than a pile of sensory toys. Through Kanso, you're not just decorating, you're programming tranquility into your child's developing brain, rhythm instead of routine. The Western world praises rigid schedules, but Japan honors rhythm, a flow that adapts without breaking. The Japanese concept of jo hakai describes this perfectly. Every process has a beginning, middle, and end. Applied to motherhood, it replaces the anxiety of structure with the comfort of predictability. Rhythm respects biology. Routine resists it. Your baby doesn't need the clock. Your baby needs your consistency. Neuroscientists have discovered that infants sync their heart rate, breathing, and even emotions to their caregivers through a process called biological entrainment. When a mother moves with rhythm instead of pressure, her calm pulse becomes the baby's internal music. This harmony reduces stress hormones and strengthens the emotional bond. Observe Japanese homes. Meals, cleaning, and rest happen in cycles that breathe, not in strict time slots. This rhythm creates what psychologists call temporal coherence, a sense that time flows safely. Bringing jo hakai into your daily life transforms ordinary actions into rituals. Waking, feeding, and resting follow a natural tempo, teaching the nervous system that transitions don't have to be chaotic. They can be graceful. Rhythm heals the modern rush by restoring trust in timing itself. The morning light code. At sunrise, Japanese families open their windows. It's not habit, it's medicine. This ritual, rooted in centuries of observation, aligns with what chronobiology now proves, that natural light within the first hour of waking resets our internal clock. For mothers and babies, this light acts as a neurological reset button. Exposure to morning light stabilizes melatonin production and strengthens the circadian rhythm. Studies from Osaka University show that infants exposed to consistent early light patterns sleep longer and cry less during nighttime awakenings. For mothers, it means hormonal balance and better emotional regulation. The soft light entering the home communicates to the brain. The day begins peacefully. When you draw the curtains and breathe in the first air of the day, you're not just starting a routine, you're calibrating your biology. The Japanese call this moment asa no hikari, the morning light of life. It carries symbolic and physiological weight, cleansing stale energy, activating serotonin, and inspiring gratitude. This simple act is one of the purest forms of self-regulation. It requires no equipment, no time, just awareness. And yet, it reshapes how you and your baby experience each day. The one movement practice, hito suka. Hito-oku, use something once, place it back once. This quiet Japanese principle shapes mental hygiene more than any productivity system ever could. It prevents small chaos from becoming large overwhelm. The practice trains the mind to close loops, freeing cognitive space for presence. Behavioral neuroscience confirms that incomplete tasks create a phenomenon called the Zeigarnik effect. The brain keeps unfinished actions active in memory, draining energy. When you finish what you start, even in tiny gestures, your nervous system relaxes. Applying this to motherhood means placing the bottle back, folding the blanket, storing the toy immediately. It's micro-closure that builds macro-calm. In Japanese culture, these actions are sacred. They affirm that life is happening with respect. Over time, they rewire behavior from reaction to intention. A mother living this way doesn't drown in domestic repetition. She dances with it. Every completion becomes a breath of peace. The environment begins to echo her discipline, a quiet space that sustains clarity instead of demanding it. Cleaning as consciousness training. Cleaning is often treated as a chore. In Japan, it's prayer in motion. Schools teach children to clean their classrooms not for tidiness, but for mindfulness, to honor the space that holds them. This practice, called Suji no Kokoro, translates to the spirit of cleaning. It embodies humility, attention, and gratitude. When a mother cleans consciously, she is not erasing mess. She is cultivating presence. Psychologists from the University of Hokkaido found that repetitive cleaning tasks performed with focused awareness reduce anxiety by activating the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for emotional regulation. Each motion of the hand becomes a meditation. For the baby, this atmosphere of calm movement communicates stability. The sound of gentle sweeping or organizing transmits rhythmic predictability. Cleaning becomes a sensory lullaby, a subtle cue that all is well. The Japanese view cleaning as dialogue between human and environment. It's a ritual of respect that turns the home into a living organism, one that breathes peace through every deliberate act. The subtle aesthetics of calm, beauty in Japan is not loud. It whispers through textures, shadows, and light. This is shibui, the art of refined simplicity that soothes instead of stimulates. Modern research in environmental psychology proves that soft color palettes, organic shapes, and natural materials lower blood pressure and foster cognitive restoration. Imagine your baby's room painted in warm neutrals, touched by natural wood, bathed in filtered daylight. The visual calm reduces the infant's stress responses and enhances emotional security. The mother, surrounded by quiet aesthetics, experiences lower neural activation in the amygdala, signaling safety. A room designed with restraint becomes an emotional regulator. Shibui teaches that beauty doesn't need to shout to be felt. It works through harmony, proportion, and silence. The Japanese architect Tadao Ando said, "In simplicity, there is depth." When you apply that to motherhood, it becomes a new philosophy. Design spaces not to impress, but to heal. Invisible noise, how clutter affects the baby's brain. Clutter isn't just visual, it's energetic. Every item emits signals that the brain must decode. The more stimuli in a room, the more the baby's brain works to process it. Studies in infant cognition show that overstimulating environments delay focus development and emotional regulation. Too many toys, colors, or sounds send fragmented information to a nervous system still learning coherence. For mothers, clutter drains clarity. It's like trying to think inside static. Neuroscientist Sabine Kastner's research at Princeton revealed that constant sensory interference reduces working memory by up to 25%. A cluttered nursery doesn't just look messy. It neurologically overloads both caregiver and child. Japanese homes eliminate this by practicing motoini, the respect for what already exists. Every object is purposeful. Nothing excessive remains. The result is energetic silence, a mental pause that supports growth. When the baby's space is calm, the brain can focus on bonding, not defense. The 10-minute closure ritual. At the end of each day, Japanese families tidy together. This small act, often lasting 10 minutes, has immense neurochemical benefits. Predictable closure triggers serotonin release, signaling the body that the day is complete. It's called Yuri no Serene, nighttime organization. When a mother and baby share this rhythm, even symbolically, they encode safety into the nervous system. A study on maternal routines found that consistent evening rituals reduce infant crying and improve sleep onset. Closing the day with order tells the subconscious, you can rest now. This ritual doesn't require perfection. A single basket, a folded blanket, a gentle exhale, that's enough. What matters is the repetition, the reliability. Each night becomes a soft landing. The mother feels lighter, the baby more secure. It's neuroscience disguised as simplicity. Harmony through scent and sound. In Japan, fragrance and sound are forms of therapy. KD, the way of incense, and sukinkatsu, the sound of water droplets, train the senses towards serenity. Modern research supports what tradition knew. Olfactory and auditory cues directly influence the limbic system, regulating mood and memory. Soft scents like hinoki, green tea, or rice powder lower cortisol. Gentle sounds, wind chimes, running water, slow rhythmic music entrain the heartbeat to calmer patterns. For mothers, this sensory design becomes an emotional anchor. For babies, it becomes safety and sound. The goal is coherence, air, light, sound, and scent vibrating in harmony. When the home resonates with balanced frequencies, the mind rests naturally. This is the Japanese understanding of wa harmony, not as uniformity, but as resonance between human and space. The emotional architecture of gratitude. Emotion is architecture. Every feeling leaves an imprint in the environment. Studies on mirror neurons reveal that babies absorb emotional states from caregivers within seconds. Gratitude, when practiced intentionally, transforms the emotional climate of a home. In Japan, gratitude is ritualized before meals, before entering a room, before sleep. This repetition creates emotional architecture, invisible walls built from appreciation. When a mother pauses to thank her home, her body shifts from sympathetic tension to parasympathetic calm. That shift radiates through the baby, teaching by vibration what words cannot. This isn't spiritual idealism. It's neuroplasticity in motion. Gratitude rewires perception. The space begins to feel warmer, lighter, more alive. The act of acknowledging what supports you turns the ordinary into sacred ground. The maternal Zen, doing less to feel more. Modern motherhood glorifies multitasking. Zen rejects it. Doing less doesn't mean caring less, it means caring with presence. In Japanese philosophy, mu represents emptiness, not as void, but as full awareness. Neuroscience parallels this. When we allow stillness, the brain's default mode network activates, fostering creativity, empathy, and meaning. A mother who practices stillness becomes magnetic. Her calm signals to her baby that the world is safe. Her nervous system becomes the baby's first language. Every pause she takes, every slow breath, teaches resilience. This is maternal Zen, the art of non-doing as ultimate nurture. To do less is to honor life's natural intelligence. The Japanese tea ceremony, performed in silence, encapsulates this truth. Presence is the highest form of love. The return to silence, everything you've heard leads here. Silence. Not the absence of sound, but the fullness of peace. Japanese wisdom and neuroscience agree silence repairs the brain. It regenerates synaptic clarity, balances emotions, and deepens connection. The habits you've learned are not decorations for life. They're practices of awareness. The order of your home is the echo of your inner state. And when that order is grounded in intention, your baby grows inside harmony, not haste. The real secret of Japanese calm is not found in objects, but in the energy that moves through them. It's not about doing everything right, it's about doing what matters, slowly, consciously, gratefully. Because a peaceful mother becomes the architecture of a peaceful child. And that, more than any design, is what turns a house into a sanctuary.